Hello, it's Talking Reds. Happy, what day is it? Thursday.
Thursday.
To everyone. I lose track of international break. I haven't got the games to hook my life on. I'm John Gibbons, struggling to talk. I've got Harriet Prior with me as well, and we're going to talk through all the latest goings on with Liverpool Football Club. But as a hint of that, not a huge amount, because Liverpool having a bit of an international break. Obviously, it's a big game, Senegal v Egypt tomorrow night, which I'm sure everyone will be watching. But for now, there's just paper talk, and it always gets filled with transfers. If there's 2 days where they can get transfer talk in, they always will. Various ins linked, Irish wonder kids and things like that, which I'm sure you've been scouting for us.
I have been scouting. I'm surprised we not have Rob Gutman in every day this week. He's in next week, isn't he, Stuart Gutter? So we can't blame everyone else for the transfer talk when we're doing it ourselves.
We're part of the problem, not the solution, very much in this. There is a gutter being recorded next Tuesday, as well as an award-winning overview show. So, Grammys and Oscars galore over in that studio next week. But I want to talk about an exit because, as I say, there's quite a few players linked in. Rob Gutman will cover all those next week, a few familiar names, a couple of new ones. But it looks like finally, and I say finally with a heavy heart, it looks like it might be the end for Divock Origi. AC Milan have come in apparently with a pretty good offer, and Fab Romano of Let's Go fame reckons it might actually be wrapped up in the next few days, and if it is, it'll be a sad state of affairs.
You might see me crying on Talking Red. So I think
live tears.
You say finally, but it feels like every single season, every single transfer window, it's like, right, is Origi going? Is this his year to go? And there's been arguments for and against it for him as a player and for Liverpool as a team. And you look at him personally and you think, okay, well, he's had all the success he's had at Liverpool, scored such key goals, which I'm sure we'll go into, had these incredible moments, won Champions Leagues and all these things. But he's not been playing regular football. So it's sort of been a case of, okay, he's got all this stuff, but does he now want to be getting to a stage? He's still young and he's still got sort of the peak of his career left, where he wants to be playing week in, week out. And if AC Milan can offer him that, and I don't think it's realistic that we can at any point in the next few years, then I understand why he feels it's time to go, but I'll be very sad. Yeah,
I think everyone will be very sad. He's part cult hero, part just hero, and he's been responsible for some of the greatest moments in this manager, Harriet. I mean, he's not always played, obviously, and not played as much as he'd like, and part of the reason why I think he'll be looking to move on is some more game time. But you can't argue that he's been present at some of the biggest moments, not just under Jurgen Klopp, but for this football club.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also whenever you feel like you need a goal, you want to bring him on in a big game, and he does offer that sense of anticipation and excitement, and all the fans absolutely love him. What I will say is that we seem now to be in a position where we've got this squad depth and we've got all these players that we can bring on in different competitions and different scenarios, and it would feel like a shame if after all that and what we've built, we start letting some of those go, and then we realise, we actually needed them more than we thought. Origi has been one that even in sort of the League Cup games and the FA Cup games, he's not really had as much of a chance as players like Minamino, and hasn't much of a chance to prove himself this season. But yeah, he's been involved in some of the biggest moments under Klopp. I mean, even this season he scored a late winner, didn't he? Was it Wolves?
Well, at Wolves, I was going to say. So, if we win the league by 1 or 2 points,
he should still be coming back for the parade.
I'm sure he will. Well, he won't leave. It'll just be a pre-contract, so it'll be to go in the summer. So he's going to play out the season here, and even if he announces it, you wouldn't be surprised if there's one more twist in the Divock Origi tale, because that's what he does. One,
I'd say 2 or 3 to be honest, yeah.
You got your eye on Paris?
Yeah, honestly I have. I look back to that Champions League night in Madrid, and when he scored, I just feel like that was just the most surreal moment ever for me as a Liverpool fan throughout the last sort of 10, 15 years, because it was just like, oh my God, we're actually doing this, is actually happening, and he was the one that sealed the deal. And you think back to times like that, and you look at him as a person, as a player, he never seems phased or fussed. And I think Milner's said before, hasn't he, that he never knows if Origi knows what he's doing. And he always sort of goes on the pitch, and you never know if he's listened to what Klopp said beforehand, if he knows where he's even playing, what's going on, and then he just goes and scores these goals that are out of this world. I mean, the Everton goal. There's just so many, isn't there?
So if you had to pick one, then go on. If you had to say one Divock Origi moment to take to the grave with you,
it has to be the Champions League second goal. I mean, it was just...
You were at Madrid as well, weren't you?
Yeah,
before we met, but yeah, you were at Madrid.
I was at Madrid, and I think just being there, and I sort of was like, well, because in the stadium there was like there was no like barriers at the back, so you could sort of like stand at the back and like watch it, and I was like pacing up and down, really stressed. Honestly, classic. And then when he scored, I was like at the back, and I like ran down the stairs. I just lost it. So I think like for me personally, that was amazing. But then the Barcelona game as well, like that was on the way there, and his his contribution to that Trent assist and his goal was just a ridiculous moment. He just doesn't score normal goals.
No.
I mean, even against I was at Preston earlier this year, his goal was ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's just so many moments you could just go through and think, God, he's done so much for this football club, and it will definitely be a huge shame when he leaves. And I think he also seems to get on with everyone really well, and he's part of that squad at the moment where they're all just gelling. There seems to be a really good vibe and sense of camaraderie in the team. So,
well, that makes it even sadder with not just him but a few of them. You know, there's a bit of talk about Joe Gomez.
Yeah.
You know, potentially moving on. You mentioned Milner there. He can't go on
I'll say
forever,
Chamberlain.
surely. Yeah, Chamberlain's contract's running out. You know, is he going to sort of get a new one? The gang, the boys who won the lot, who were champions of the world, are slowly...
You are trying to make me cry, aren't you?
That's what I do on a Thursday morning, and we've established it's a Thursday.
Now we know. Now we know for sure it's Thursday.
I mean, I'm not trying to make you cry. I guess I'm trying to make us both and the audience like mentally prepare for what's to come, because like these boys, I want them all to go on forever together, like touring the world. But you know, slowly and surely, I'm not even brought Mo up. I'm not ready.
No, don't. Seriously. No, we can't get to that point today. But yeah, and it is just the characters that you invest in so much.
Yeah.
Because as footballers, you follow them as players, but you also follow them as people. And I think even more so with, you know, obviously the age of social media and feeling like you have a real insight in through YouTube and Instagram and all these things, you feel like they're your mates. And obviously they're literally not your mates, but you feel like you know them so well. And so when any of them decide to move on, seeing any of them in a shirt that's not a Liverpool shirt is obviously a weird feeling. I think AC Milan would be a good move for him. It wouldn't be a club he'd go to that I'd be like gutted about.
It feels suitable. It's a suitable stature for Divock Origi. It's one of the super clubs in world football, and that's where Divock belongs.
That's where he belongs. And then we'll get a little statue for him as well. Maybe just in our office we can do that.
Text in if you can build the Anfield Wrap a Divock Origi statue out of whatever you feel, really, but it's got to last. Do you know what I mean? Don't build that out of biscuits, because they last about 5 minutes upstairs. But absolutely anything else, if you want to let us know. I'll just read out some comments. Obviously, lots of people paying tribute to Divock Origi. Kat here makes a good point. Before his bad injury, he was on the verge of becoming a world-class striker. His injury held him back. And I think that's a really good point, because we talk of him now as a cult hero, as an impact player, but it's worth remembering that Jurgen Klopp comes in straight away. It's a squad with Daniel Sturridge in, but starts Origi in that very first game against Spurs, and in that season, he's fantastic. Scores home and away in that Dortmund famous Europa League tie. He scored away when we drew 1-1, and then he scored at home. I think it was the goal to get us back 3-2, or it might have been 2. I think it was 2-1 actually, just before half time. But plays in that as well, and gets a really nasty injury by Yardal Evertonian on the way to the final, and yet unfortunately, plays in the final, but isn't sort of quite right. And I agree, isn't quite right there until sort of quite a bit after, really. So who knows? We could be talking about one of the world's best strikers if it wasn't for that. But never mind. Someone asking who will succeed Divock as the new Lord of Liverpool. We'll have to wait and see. To be honest with you, who is bestowed.
Well, he's done good stuff in the city as well, hasn't he? His scholarship with the university and things like that.
So he'll keep having the links here through that, which is nice.
Definitely. I think it's nice that he'll keep having sort of the connection to the city and to the club, because he'll always be welcome, won't he? Again, he can come and sit in the office and work for a bit if he wants. We'll have him whenever he wants.
Yeah. Someone said here, the fact that there isn't a statue of Origi at the Kop End is a national disgrace. Don't worry, Paddy. We're getting one upstairs. Everyone can see our office as well from the waterfront garden, especially when we've got a big massive TAW in the window now, just to be low key as ever at the Anfield Wrap.
Put Origi on top of one of the letters.
So put Origi there, and everyone will sort of be able to see it. And when asked about favourite moments, the Spaniard here said him getting snogged by that bloke in the away end. It was on Valentine's Day as well at Aston Villa. A big smooch on the face. No wonder he wants to go to Italy. But Divock, absolute legend, of course. And if it is, as Fabio Romano says, the last few days of him being under contract at Liverpool, then what a time he's had. But as Harry said before, 2 or 3 more twists maybe in the Divock Origi tale before he does move on in the summer, if that is indeed the case, but looking more and more likely as the days go on. Just finally, just wanted to touch on a story from yesterday about season tickets. It's quite a sort of low-key story really, but I think it's worth noting that for the 7th consecutive year, Liverpool have kept the season ticket prices where they are. Now listen, I think ticket prices are still a little bit too expensive, but they could be more expensive. We were talking just before we started about the fact that Arsenal have put theirs up, the fact that even though they're only half a football team compared to the boys in red, there's a huge waiting list. The demand for season tickets is huge. So Liverpool could charge, I mean, more or less what they like. I mean, obviously they know what the flex going to be and stuff like that, and they'll be aware of that. But there is an opportunity to put prices up with the team being so strong, with the season waiting list being so long. So I think they deserve some credit and not necessarily going overboard for freezing them for a 7th year.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned there, other Premier League teams have started to put their prices up, and there's obviously been backlash. I think in the past we've seen when ticket prices have got to a level which fans have found unacceptable, and quite rightly so. There has been a lot of backlash. There was obviously the walkout and all those things. So I think, you know, obviously freezing season tickets can only be seen as a good thing, because, like you say, they could really charge what they want. I was looking this morning that they've frozen the waiting list now, but it's 70,000 on it. It's a bit ridiculous how many people just, you know, that are waiting literally forever probably to get a season ticket.
Yeah, because people won't give them up because they won't get them back.
Exactly. Like no one with the season tickets really wanting to give it up, are they? But yeah, obviously we are really lucky that we can just go down the road and be able to watch our football team week in, week out. And I think, especially in the context of the world at the moment, and just the price of absolutely everything going up, I think can only be deemed as a good thing that the season ticket prices aren't. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll finish on a few more comments before we leave. Some point out saying that Phillips will surely also leave. Bournemouth want to keep him. Yeah, there'll be another one of the gang. He isn't quite on the gang who took over the world, but he is in the gang who got us to 4th place. And of course, the
gang who got us in the Champions League this year, to be fair to him.
Yeah, and of course, the reigning holder of the Anfield Wrap Embodiment to Liverpool Award, which I'm sure one of his greatest achievements. So there we are. Mark Swain says, I'm meant to be going to the Belfast show tomorrow night, but I'm still testing positive. Mark, we've got our fingers crossed for you. But we had some late fitness tests for my 40th last week.
I was one of them.
I didn't want to name names. I didn't want to reveal, you know. if you, it's up to you to talk about your
No, I feel your pain, and I hope you get free soon, because it's horrible.
So Harriet was a late fitness test came through. My wife only came through in the morning. So hopefully, Mark, you'll have some good news tonight or in the morning, and we'll come down and we'll have a big snog in Belfast. I say that, I'm not going. Snog Neil. I'm not doing Belfast, but I am going over to Dublin and Cork. I absolutely can't wait. I know all the guys who are doing Belfast as well, absolutely can't wait as well. They're flying out Friday morning. I'm Saturday. Got kids now and stuff like that, and I need to sort of be a little bit more careful. But yeah, we absolutely can't wait to be in Ireland. And I know there's loads of people in here on the comments sort of really looking forward to it. People say that they're going to hopefully see you down there and stuff like that. So lots of people sort of coming. One more from Derek to finish on. Harriet needs to lend Craig that shirt. He'd rock it. Would you be up for lending your shirt to Craig? He gets a lot of talk about his fashion.
No, I'm not getting involved in. If anyone else coming to my fashion like they do on Craig's, I'll be out. So.
I think Derek's saying he's into it. But,
okay, well that's good. But
yeah.
No, I won't be lending anyone my shirt. People do occasionally put my jackets on in the office, don't they? I say people, I mean Ash, but it happens. So, but no, this shirt is mine. But Craig probably would look nice in it. I agree.
Oh, there we go. You have such a laugh upstairs. Right, nice one. Make sure you subscribe to the Anfield Wrap. There's loads of great stuff going on over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, the build-up to Watford, which is in a week or so. But before that as well, we've got some really good interviews. Harry's done something with Taylor Hines, which is on YouTube now. Do check that out. She's a Liverpool women's sensation, player of the month for February. I think it was across the WSL too. So talking about the fact that Liverpool looks set to get promoted as champions this season, but a couple of more barriers to go. So fantastic interview with Taylor Hines that Harriet's done on YouTube. Do check that out. But yeah, loads of great stuff on the Anfield Wrap. So make sure you download the app, get stuck into the content, and yeah, up the Reds.